believe that it's going to take real, everyday people like you and me sitting here to correct the problems that exist in this city. It's great, Mayor Lights, it's good to see you here today too. We're going to have to work with our city officials as we do this, because it's going to take everybody coming together for a better and safer Dayton. I don't know how many people heard our first interview that we did on Dayton Most Metro, but in it we briefly discussed on why we're doing this, and I'm sure Tam will agree with me here. It's all about neighbors getting to know one another. So I challenge you to take these next few minutes. If you see somebody here in the room that you don't know, talk with them, introduce yourself to them, because we all come from different economic backgrounds, and in here there is no black or white. We're all Daytonian, and I want people to understand that, and we're trying to get that point across. So take time, introduce yourself to someone that you don't know in here, and we'll pick back up and resume in the next couple of minutes.
I know you will.
That's probably what it is. Hey, Doctor. Nice to meet you. See, these are the ones that we need to get the city better for. And we're going to leave them with nothing.
Interesting, you do this all the time, huh?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Okay.
Get up and do something. It's not going to change by complaining. It's only going to change by getting out there and making a difference. And it really frustrates me to hear these people say, "Oh, well, you know, I don't want to do this downtown. I don't want to do this downtown." Come downtown and make it change. Force change on it.
This you don't know, and that probably because that leads to a stronger community and a stronger city. I talked to Reverend Walker the other day, a great man. I talked to him about 3-4 hours from the tour of the Wesley Center down there, and they're doing lots of wonderful things inside their community. You know, he looked at me and he said, "The greater love of man is cooled off," and that's true. All too oftentimes we look at the side of our communities, the side of our neighborhoods, and people, one, they've lost that caring attitude towards one another. And a lot of people seem to just not care anymore about their neighbor or the people that live down the road from them. But it's this organization, Citizens for Change, is not only about getting to know your neighbor, getting to know those inside of your community, but actually everyday people working for that real improvement within the city. We've talked to some great people yesterday doing our food drive there on Smithville Road. They said the same thing. You know, it would be great. It's a great concept. It'd be great to see people getting to know one another. And also, we're here to act as a voice for you. If you have some suggestion that you would like to see worked on in the city for improvement in Dayton, we will try our hardest and we will work towards those improvements within the communities. Real quick, they started a similar program like this in Portland, Oregon. It wasn't called Citizens for Change Portland, but it was established in Oregon by everyday residents coming together. And they were able to specifically address the problems within their city. And they were able to come united, and they were able to gather a whole host of volunteers to help turn some of their communities around. So what we want to do is we want to expound on that and take suggestions from you, the residents inside these communities and neighborhoods, and work towards that really beneficial improvement. All too often, I know when I tell people like, "Oh, you're going on a date?" Oh, yeah, stay away from that. You know, there's a certain stigma that exists about our city that deeply disgusts me. When I talk to everybody, "Oh, you're from Dayton." "No, there's nothing up in Dayton. There's nothing around there. There's no good from there." I'm here to tell you that I love this city. I love this community, and I just love being here. And it's going to take attitudes like that to make this city better. And I tell people, I'm like, well, you know what? Every city, every region in the United States has its problems. It's how we deal with those problems, how we adapt and overcome problems that exist within our communities and neighborhoods that will make our city better in the long run. And we can come together for unique suggestions on city improvement, and we can work on doing so. A lot of people have said, well, you know, the jobs have left the area, and they have. There is a great deal of needy people, and I'm sure some of you know people that have been laid off from jobs that used to exist here in town that no longer do. We had GM truck factory left, NCR left, companies that have been around in this area for years. And then we hear about small business closure, such as Gem City Records the other day, leaving town. And these were businesses that have been part of the fabric inside of our communities and what the history of Dayton they have in their back. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come together for suggestion and creative ideas to bring this business and industry back into our city and town. Right now, as everybody's probably aware of, we're sitting on a lot of natural resources here in the Miami Valley region, water being one of them. Last week, I had the great opportunity to sit down with the Chamber of Commerce president from Jonesboro, Arkansas. They have roughly a population of 60,000 in their town and relatively low crime rate. I think they had 2 homicides all of last year. And what they have done inside of this community is they have sold themselves in such a way that has attracted this major industry to come in. It hasn't been an overnight process for them. It took them about 15 or 17 years in the making. But as a result now of the good work being done inside of the city and communities, they've been able to attract the Nestle plant, they've been able to attract the Post plant, they've been able to attract Butterball, Coca-Cola, and they got over 21 major factories, not counting 70 other manufacturing places in their city alone. So people are driving from Memphis, which is a population of 500,000 plus, to work in this town of 60,000. Also had the great opportunity when I was down there to speak with their mayor about some of the things that they do in their city to attract that business and industry. And I got some really good feedback on it. And the interview, our interview with them will be posted on our website here in the next couple of days. And basically, they have a great community relationship. Their communities are in sync with each other. The neighbors care about each other. And anywhere you walk in that town, you can see people hold their heads up high because of their pride. They have so much pride in their city. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on improving the pride here in Dayton. We're going to work on getting inside of our communities, not merely cleaning those up and sweeping the streets off, but we're going to work for real improvement. We're going to get inside of our communities. We're going to put out community flyers and surveys to folks. We're going to let them know that we're here for you. We want to hear your voice, and what do you want to see done differently. When I started this, our goal was to speak to every resident before August of 2013. So we got 155,000 something folks we got to get out to and speak to. And what that's going to involve, when I leave the Army, I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to run this full time. We've had some great people step up and volunteer their assets to pay for our advertising, which is awesome, because that means from our fundraising efforts, which I'll get to in a minute, it will enable us to put all 100% of the money raised back into our communities. And that can go a long ways. All too oftentimes, when you talk of taxes, money that's brought in from the city, people are like, where did that go? Where did my money go? I don't even know where my money went. What's it being used for? With Operation Dimes for Dayton, and I'll talk about that in a second, all 100% of the money raised from our communities will be available and will be online where you can see how much money was brought in and to what cause it's going to for city improvement. Thanks to our friends at U.S. Plastics in Lima, Ohio, we have 100 containers, 5-gallon in nature, which are going to be distributed all throughout the city. Businesses, grocery stores, banks, everywhere. And when you go inside and you make a purchase, let's say you buy your soda and it's 90 cents. You have that extra dime in your pocket. You can throw it in the container and feel better about yourself on the way out the door, knowing that your money, all 100% of that, is going back into your community. Now, it won't be an overnight process for them. You have hundreds of thousands of dollars within a few weeks. It'll take a little while to get there. It'll take a little while to get established. But the more that we are seen in the city, the more that we get out, and the more that we do this work, people will take notice. Be like, wow, these guys aren't just talk, they're actually action as far as getting inside the communities. And I think that will be key. And you'll be able to, like I said, toss your change in there, and that will add up. The money will be collected, the amount will be posted on the website, and residents will vote for what cause it goes to better the community.